Each letter of the Y, A, B, C, D, E, F model, each letter has meaning. But when you group them up, there are different stories that can happen in the background. And that's what I want to share with you now. And what we're going to take a look at is the Y, A, B, C. Now, I have some notes here that I'm going to work with. So, Y sets the intention and ABC gives structure. So the Y defines your why, the answer to that question. What's going to fit in? What's the fitness of this legacy that you want to unfold? And the ABC gives you a sense of the inspiration, the clarification, the direction that you need to be able to move forward. And think of it this way, that the ABC stones in many ways is like an internal story that is going to unfold to help you with your outside structure. So if you get this YABC and you really ground yourself in what's going on, then you have, in a sense, a foundation from which to stand on so that you can act and behave and respond the way that makes sense for you and can meet the audience where they are. In other words, help you to understand your words, your terms, their terms, and figure out how you're best going to support each other, invite their involvement, and thus them supporting you. What the Y also does is it brings the broader sense of awareness to the foreground so that the A of the ABC gives you the attention, what you're going to align with, what are you going to, in a sense, activate as you move forward. And therefore, the Y stone centers on the self-awareness. And you're going to get a little bit of who you're going to interact with as well, but you're really attempting to figure out, why am I doing this? And getting really clear, and therefore understanding the intention, but also getting some clarity about your own purpose. Now, things may have shifted with your transition in your 60s, and purpose may come to the surface a little bit more than mission. And you may want to take a look at that, and or if you still feel, hey, I've got it all taken care of from a purpose point of view, great. If not, then spend a bit of reflective time with your journals and take a look at your purpose. So what that A is doing, is it saying to you is, let's take a look at the past, present activities, figure out what's going on there. In other words, gather your evidence, and therefore you're going to be reviewing your memories, you're going to be looking for patterns that are there, and in essence, preparing that foundation of, okay, here's the activities, that's what I think the activities could be going forward. I'm not going to actually implement them right now is what I think, but I'm going to list them out. What are my activities that I think that I'm going to play with? Because as you move along, you get greater clarity about that. So if this Y gives you that inner reflection, assessment, review, then what it does is it helps you understand the meaning of the life that you're looking to live, living your legacy life. Now, what is going to happen is this Y connected to B, the B is going to give you that expression of outward, your behaviors that you think you're going to be bringing forward. So if you're looking at the activities, the B, the behaviors, and why you're doing it, you could start to list what you think your behaviors are going to be. And that's the use of action verbs. They're so useful here. Write, craft, speak, whatever that might be. What would be some of the action verbs that you would put here? And what's going to happen here now is as you take a look at these actions that you're starting to list, it gives you a sense of what your daily life might look like. And therefore, in behind this is that these activities, these actions that you're proposing, this alignment that you're looking for, is going to help confirm your beliefs, and your beliefs that you have can help confirm your activities, your actions. And therefore, that deeper why through an A and B combination is going to really round out what's possible here as you unfold your living legacy story, living your legacy life after 60. Now, even back a little bit farther into what I call the white space is often you will draw a drawing that has lines and boxes or triangles or whatever, but there's white space there. Think of the organization chart that you may have been involved with at work, or the white space in between the printed lines. There's always something a little bit more in behind there, a little bit more in behind. And one of those areas is that intention and behavior become connected because of that A-B storyline that is unfolding, that you're finding, you're exploring. And what that does is it helps you to start figuring out what might be some of the wonderful habits that you're going to bring forward. Or you might say, well, I don't necessarily want them to become routines, but could they become rituals? Again, you start to dig in a little bit deeper because what you're really looking for is that alignment with your intention. You're looking for that alignment with your behavior. You're really getting into it. And why I'm bringing it up, and it may be a little bit of a repeat of what I've already said, is that you're doing it because you're really wanting to understand the baseline of this life that you want to live. And give yourself some space. Sit down with your journal, go for a walk, have a cup of tea, coffee, or beverage of choice, and just give yourself that place and space to just explore that and see what comes to the foreground. And this is where I always chat about finding those important words. There's probably one word that's really important to you about living your legacy life. And what are 4 words that you would associate with that one word? So mine was legacy, and what I did was I found that experience, education, and nature sort of rounded it out. And what was really core, after I really looked and spent some time and it became a bit of a surprise, was safety. That felt safety. And so those are the 5 words that I'm framing all of what it is that I'm doing. And it didn't happen just one afternoon. But no, it did not. It took me a bit of time, a bit of playing, a lot of sketching and reflecting in journals to find it. And then I found a really wonderful diagram that went with it that I created. And I have that foreground with me. And I always can just sort of reach out and touch it. And it's sort of like an energy source for me to go, oh, right, okay. And I can remember things as I go forward. Now, I'm a bit of a visual learner. I don't know about you. Maybe it's auditory. Maybe it's kinesthetic. Maybe it is visual, whatever it might be. Find those words and then find that really deeper connection between your A and your B, because that'll lead to your C. Now, we sort of talked a little bit about C being consequence and character. And so the C is the actions. What's the result of your actions? And those are the consequences that inform your character. Now, the great thing here is, yes, but some of that AB is going to shape your character, and you're going to use that character of AB to help you implement your C. So the ABC are chasing themselves in a sense, and that's great. Because what you're doing is you're looking at that C, that character, through accountability and caring and respect and trust. Words like that you're going to want to initiate as you interact with others. But it's that self-awareness, making sure from a hierarchy of values inside yourself, you have alignment and you're not doing something that's out of alignment. It's actually helping you to walk forward, to strive forward. And so this YABC, when you bring them all together, there's a sense of reflection, preparation, expression, and integration. Isn't that great? What you're able to do, bring that Y, that ABC together, reflection, preparation, expression, and integration. So that's why I say, take some time, put a little bit of effort into giving this a go, and just, hey, No, I'm going to slow down here a little bit. I don't have to move so fast. I might give myself a weekend. Now, you might be getting a sense there's going to be a lot of movement that's happening here. Well, you may be in your journals and looking at it, but then you're going to be figuring out what kind of movement, what actions, what outcomes am I going to be looking at. Well, one of the banner ideas here is that when you really start to connect the Y and the ABC, then you are leaning into integrity. And when you have the integrity of what it is you're going to build or grow, whatever metaphor you prefer, then your words, deeds, and intentions match up. And matching up is great because it gives you, oh, okay, you can start to see how the path stones of the Y and the A and the B and the C can be laid out. And you might find you go Y to B, to A to C, to B to A to Y. You may find different combinations that you're laying out as you first get going. It's not that it has to be linear of Y, A, B, C. It could be a mix of them, one little to the side, one right in front of the next one. Again, playing with it, sort of see what unfolds for you. You might be quite amazed what you find, because that story keeps you honest, coherent, and whole. So very much this YABC connections embodies the inner foundation of legacy. The inner foundations of legacy. And it's very much a story that is going to unfold through your contributions and your involvement with projects. It's going to come from this YABC, leaning you into your DEF. And then as we go through the D, the E, the F, and then the DEF together, you will start to see even more starts to unfold. And you'll see this YABC, DEF is actually reoccurring. It's going to keep repeating itself. But again, the laying of the stones might be a little bit different. But what you're going to do is that this ABC with your Y is going to clarify your intention, discipline your practice, and strengthen your character. Wonderful, isn't that? Isn't those great path stones to be able to step on? And then get your DEF, your direction, engagement, and feed forward to be able to add to that. Ooh, that path that's going to unfold for you by using this letter model. There's something here, and if you give it the time and you give it the space, you'd be amazed what's going to unfold. So this was about the YABC and these 7 sort of interactions. Some of them are repeated, some of them are deeper. So you're going simpler, deeper, better, kinder, wiser. So when we get into the DEF that's going to follow, again, we'll take D, then E, then F. Let's see what happens. Let's unfold this model with you, for you. And therefore, your comments about it are so appreciated. What are you learning here? What is it you're picking up that would be of great value? And therefore, the videos that are starting to show up here in the subscriber quest, these videos are ones that will take you forward. And that playlist for shorts, from a journal point of view, grab your journal, watch a couple of the videos. It'll spark some thoughts for you, with you, because of you. And therefore, always and in all ways, take care.